Okay, apart from the fact that I've now changed my hair colour because I got bored and I wasn't a big fan of like the red, like the fiery kind of gingery kind of coppery red. It was annoying me. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. I have this real pet peeve of the word racism. And it is a pet peeve, and it's really, really annoys the hell out of me. And it annoys the hell out of me purely because we use it to segregate ourselves. And we actually do use it as a way to segregate ourselves and put human beings in bubbles. And it is what we do. We put human beings in bubbles by using racism to do it. Now, I understand racism. I know exactly what it is, and I understand the terms and the phrases of it all and what we use it for. It literally is this concept of humans hating humans. That is what racism is. Human beings hating other human beings. That is what racism is. I understand that. I know exactly what it is and what it means. But it bugs the living daylights out of me, because what we do with that one term is segregate ourselves as human beings and use it to put human beings in bubbles. Because by calling it racism, what we've essentially done is put human beings into bubbles. You know, black people are one race, Latinos are another race, these people are another race, and white people are another race, and these types of people are another race. We put human beings into little tiny bubbles of our own making. You know, it's almost like we've forgotten that every single person on this planet is a human being, and that we're all one race. Just one race. Not lots of different races. Just one race. Just one whole race. We are one race. We are not lots of different races on one planet. We as human beings are one race, not lots of tiny little races in little tiny bubbles, depending on where we live in the world. We are one race. Just because we look different doesn't make us different races. It is a massive pet peeve, and it really frigging bothers me. Because the reality of it all is unless for whatever reason you're grey or a lizard person or a mole man, you are not a different race. You are a human being. And if you want to hate other human beings, go for it. Make your excuses as to why you want to hate other human beings. I don't care what you do. It's not my person. It's just you to you. You know, you want to hate other human beings, you hate other human beings, but do not put human beings into bubbles. You know, we are different ethnicities, we are different nationalities. But just because one person is black, another person is Latino, and another person is Mediterranean, and the other one is white, doesn't make them a different race it doesn't make them different races. It makes them human beings. And it actually does make them human beings. Funny concept. Each and every one of them is a human being, which makes them one race. They all look the same. They've all got the same like chemical compounds in their bodies. They all like genetic makeup is exactly the same. You know, they have 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, 2 ears, hands, feet. Every organ they have is exactly the same as ours. You know, they have the same genetical makeup as every other human being on the planet. They are not a different race than us. They are not a different race from you or anybody else. They are all the same race. One race, human being. We are all human beings. And every single human being on the planet is one race. Not lots of different tiny races. One race. We need to stop living in bubbles. Bubbles of our own making. And they are our own making. We didn't, you know, we did it to ourselves. We put human beings in little tiny bubbles and called them races so that we could use this term racism to hate them. we hate this race. This race hates this race, and this race hates that race. No, human beings hate human beings, and these human beings hate that human being. Yeah, that is what that means. You break it right the way down. It just means that these human beings hate those human beings, and those human beings hate those human beings. We are not different. We look different. We act different. We believe different things. We see the world differently. But we are just one race. So unless you are a grey or a lizard person or, a mole man, or some kind of interdimensional being, you are human, or you're, I don't know, unless you're some other creature, you are a human being. And being human makes you the exact same race as everybody else who's a human being. It really, really, really gets on my nerves that we still here in the 21st century find an excuse to hate each other and segregate each other to such a point where we are still living in bubbles and can't actually see the concept that we are all one. We just live in different places, learn different things, see the world differently, look a little different. We don't have the same views. The fact that we are still living and breathing, we're still living and breathing the same oxygen. There is this concept that we as human beings have put ourselves in such bubbles that we've forgotten that we're actually one race, because we're so used to putting ourselves in lots of little tiny bubbles and seeing ourselves as different races that we've actually forgotten that we are one race. And then we use the word racism to actually cement the idea in our own heads that we are different races. Not, and you just sit there and you go, why? Just stop. If you want to hate other human beings, but stop living in this stupid world that makes you believe that we're a different race. It bothers the living daylights out of me that people do that. It's like, no, human beings, all look. Just because we look different doesn't make you any less a human being than anybody else. Doesn't change the fact that you're a human being. I just don't like it. It is just one of those pet peeves that I just sit there and go, just stop. Just stop with the bubbles. We don't need those types of segregation anymore. We shouldn't have that type of segregation anymore. It is 2025 and that kind of segregation should be gone by now. I know it's a really silly thing to think and a really silly thing to talk about, but the segregation of human beings as a whole should be gone by now. We should not be thinking of ourselves as separate races. We shouldn't be putting ourselves in little bubbles around the world and thinking of ourselves as different races. It's 2025. Why aren't we all remembering the fact that we're all equal? We're all one race. We're all the same. And I understand the politics of the world, and I understand that things aren't always or ever going to be that simple, and everything's never that simple. But this actual basic concept that human beings are all human beings, and we can't actually be put into bubbles. You can't segregate human beings. It's a mentality society has that needs to change. And it sounds weird and it sounds silly and I sound a bit kind of loopy, but it really bothers the hell out of me, because we shouldn't have that type of segregation anymore. We shouldn't be putting human beings into bubbles. We shouldn't be putting them into segregation of any kind, saying, oh, well, you're a different ethnicity and you're a different nationality, therefore you're not human beings. You're just a different race, which is exactly what you're saying. When you say something is a different race to you, you're saying that they're not actually human. And by saying that they're not human, it means that you can treat them however you like, and that just doesn't work. It's just, it really, really cheeses me off. Because to dehumanize someone is not where we are or where we should be. It is 2025 and we should be sitting in a world where everybody should be equal by now. We've fought so hard for equality. Everyone has fought so hard for equality. Women got their equality. Black Lives Matter, they got their equality too. Everybody is equal in this world, unless you're American, because that's all gone to pot. Unless, of course, it is literally unless you're American, because that's gone to pot. I would strongly suggest that anyone of any other ethnicity and any other nationality get the hell out of there, because you're screwed if you stay there. I'm not joking. If you are of any other nationality or ethnicity, I would get the hell out of America, because you're screwed. But, apart from America, everybody else is equal. And we should not be sitting in bubbles, and we should not be in segregation. And there shouldn't be this concept that we sit and go, well, they're a different race. Well, they're not a different race. They're the same race. They're the same race as you, and they're the same race as you, and the same race as everyone else. Just because they're come from a different country, they're a different ethnicity and a different nationality, does not make them any less human. At all. Does not make them any less human. And by calling them a different race, and it's exactly what we do. Oh, you're a different race than me. Oh, that's this race and that race and this race. No, that is dehumanizing. And it's time we stopped doing it. I know we'll never stop saying, like, oh, that's racism. That's something we'll never stop saying. Oh, you can't do that. That's racist and that's this. But calling somebody racist for hating another human being is something we'll never stop saying. But understand the concept that racism is just human beings hating another human being, not one race hating another race, but human beings hating another human being. We're not different races. We're the same race hating another person of the same race. It's human beings hating human beings. And we need to kind of normalise that way of thinking, rather than dehumanising other people and sticking them in little bubbles around the world and segregating us all. Sticking every human being in a little bubble somewhere and segregating them into a race. rather than going, we're all human and racism is just human beings hating other human beings. That is it. End of. That is what it is. Because that is where we should be right now. I really, really hate the way we dehumanize everybody. It just really bugs me, the way we dehumanize people. It just does. Anyway, I'm going to go because I'm getting annoyed and it's just really annoyed me today. And yeah, I'm gonna go. Have a good one. Bye.